about the Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians. The Lord's 54th annual Passover is going down again this year, sundown, April 1st at 500 South Salisbury Street in Raleigh, North Carolina at the Downtown Conventional Center. It's got enough room for all of us. The Lord's 54th annual Passover. Last year, brothers and sisters showed up from all over the world, rocking ancient garments and glorious apparel in order to serve the Most High in Christ. Now, it's that time again. Commander General Yohana's putting out the decree for all brothers and sisters to show up sundown, April 1st in Raleigh, North Carolina. Join us at the Sheridan in Raleigh, the hotel right downtown. It's at 421 South Salisbury. The Passover is right up the block at the convention center, literally within walking distance. Make sure you pull up. Make sure that you do your due diligence because rooms are going fast and they are limited this weekend. You understand? We have months in advance of preparation. Do not wait till the last minute to get your room. The Lord's 54th annual Passover, Saturday, April 1st in Raleigh, North Carolina. Join us there.
It's about time, sending curses to them enemies.
Shalom. It's that time again, Israel. It's the Lord's 54th annual Passover in North Carolina.
Y'all know what we do. Y'all know what we came to do. Huh?
The Isupk under Commander General Yohana will be hosting the Lord's 54th annual Passover in Raleigh, North Carolina at the Downtown Convention Center. This is something that you do not want to miss. Make sure that y'all bring the entire family.
Oh, you think I'm bullshitting? Wait till I get richer. If I gotta go to ground, I'ma shut the town down. I ain't about to stop until I hear the sand down. All you gonna see is a lot of men down.
The Downtown Raleigh Convention Center.
We ain't never stopping now. You running now. All my niggas go to ground. We go to ground. You dealing with the men of war.
For Blacks, Hispanic, and Native Indians. Go to isupk.com to purchase your tickets today. $200 per every adult over the age of 17 years old.
We are not the same. No, we not related. No, I'm not stuck on living. Death is a vacation. My camp undefeated. You cannot debate. You just want the clout.
The
We just want
Lord's
the praise.
54th annual Passover, April the 1st, is coming down to Raleigh, North Carolina. Commander General Yohana has done it again. You don't want to miss this. Pull yourself. Pull yourself.
Shalom Israel. This is a public service announcement to all the sisters out there. Y'all already know what time it is. Them Passover corsages is blooming absolutely right this year. If you a married sister, rock that red corsage. And for all the single sisters out there, the white corsage was made just for you. Stop playing. You cannot be Passover ready without rocking one of these. Just $10 to complete that fit for the Lord's 54th annual Passover. Pre-order yours now. Click the link below for more info. For just $10, I got a feeling that this is just the right batch of flowers to have you looking on point and official. Sisters, make it your business to get you one, and we hope to see you there. Shalom, Israel.
So I spit choo-choo, I taste the whole thing. Taking my style, I'm far from a language, just want me put it down, baby. She on the road, can get around in my coupe, me and you, we just cruising through the town lately. Ask me question, girl, do you mind? What would it take to make you mine, please? Tell me be you, and we can try. So I spit choo-choo, I taste the whole thing. Taking my style, I'm far from a language, just want me put it.
Now,
Hey, Shalom, how about you, man? Can all the zones hear me in Durham? So like, can you hear me in Durham right now?
I don't see Durham up there.
But can y'all hear me though?
Oh, Kyle, yeah, we hear you.
Top one. Hey, can you hear us in Fayetteville, top one?
Come, I hear you just fine. Am I coming through clear, sir?
You wanna? Come, you're too up, soldier.
Come, the water, sir. Officer Abraham, can you hear me, sir?
Con, I can hear you.
Most High in Christ, you ready to roll, sir?
Con, I'm ready.
Come, Most High in Christ, it's on you, Water One.
All right, clap it up. All right, the water top one. You know, again, this is Isupk. Started out of 1 West Harlem, New York, 125th Street, under Commander General Yohana. You understand? This is a Monday scripture breakdown class. You know, the water for everybody joining us. I'm Officer 5000 Abraham. I'll be taking the class. until Captain come in, I'll be holding it down. So, anybody got any questions online, anything, any concerns or things that's been, intriguing you about life, about the scriptures, about anything, Shabayala holding it down with me up in here in the Charlotte school. So we ready to rock and roll. If anybody don't have anything, then of course I'll go into my topic, but we can definitely get your questions answered.
So like I said,
I
have a question. In the first chapter of the book of Judges, why is it that the tribes of Israel, like we went to fight in Jerusalem? Like, was it heathen nations who was occupying our land at the time, or were we fighting against, our brothers? Salaka.
Let's pull it up. Go to Judges chapter 1.
Okay. Let's see. So, like I said, let me give me 1 second. I gotta find the exact verse that I was looking at when they said it, if I could.
Con.
Hey, well, so like I had one more question that was in the same chapter. So like in verse 7, when it said, three score and 10 kings, having their thumbs and their great toes cut off, gathered their meat under my table, as I have done, so God hath requited me. Is there any, like, is it any pertinence to why we cut off their toes and their thumbs? Salakia.
You remember when Aaron You remember when Aaron was anointed, how they put the blood on his thumb and his toe, and the thumb signified the work, and how if somebody could pull it for me when they anointed Aaron to carry the priesthood duties, when they if anybody can pull it, I don't know where it's at right off, but let me see if I can get it.
Okay, and so like I said, my first question was right after that one as well, in verse 8.
Okay.
Is it Leviticus, sir, with Aaron?
It may be. Let's read it. Where you at?
Leviticus chapter 8, and let me see. I started verse 10. Okay. And Moses took the anointing oil and anointed the tabernacle and all that was therein, and sanctified them. Verse 11. And he sprinkled thereof upon the altar 7 times, and anointed the altar and all his vessels, both the laver and his foot, to sanctify them. Mm-hmm. Verse 12. And he poured of the anointing oil upon Aaron's head, and anointed him to sanctify him.
See, it says specifically. That's not the one I'm looking for. It said that he put something on his right thumb, and I tell you what, brother, let me make sure I'm giving you the right information from Cap. I'm a definitely, because I'm 90% sure that that's what it's talking about, and it's actually a signification. It's to symbolize something. It's the work that they was doing. Of course, you had, and this is talking about the heathen nations and Judges.
Salaki, sir, if I may.
Go ahead.
I read before that was a form of humiliation, like to cut off your big toe and your thumb. That was like to humiliate you, to show you, put you in a certain status.
As like being a cripple or
Yeah,
an
like,
incompetent person.
yeah, you're marked.
Uh-huh.
I read that. I'm not sure that's the answer though, sir.
I'm thinking that, I mean, that's one of the reasons as well. It could be the reason, but I noticed it is in Judges, it is talking about the heathens, because we went back and forth with heathens occupying our land, trying to get access and control of our land. So we were fighting back then as well, and it says it right in chapter 1 verse 1. If you could read that verse, brother.
It's the book of Judges, chapter 1 and verse 1. Now after the death of Joshua, it came to pass that the children of Israel asked the Lord, saying, who shall go up for us against the Canaanites first to fight against them?
Go ahead, keep going.
Verse 2, and the Lord said, Judah shall go up. Behold, I have delivered the land into his hand.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 3, and Judah said unto Simeon, his brother, come up with me into my lot, that we may fight against the Canaanites. And I likewise will go with thee into thy lot. So Simeon went with him.
And read that last verse 4.
In verse 4, and Judah went up, and the Lord delivered the Canaanites and the Perizzites into their hand, and they slew of them in Bezek 10,000 men.
So there, you know what I'm saying? That was of course Judah, getting those heathens, out of our land. So
it's like, and that would be including Jerusalem in verse 8.
Let's keep going. It'll tell us.
Well, from verse 6, but Adonibezek fled, and they pursued after him and caught him and cut off his thumbs and his great toes. Verse 7, and Adonibezek said, 70 kings, having their thumbs and their great toes cut off, gathered their meat under my table. As I have done, so God hath requited me. And they brought him to Jerusalem, and there he died. And in verse 8, now the children of Judah had fought against Jerusalem, and had taken it, and smitten it with the edge of the sword, and set the city on fire.
And this is all behind, and now if you could look up is Adonibezek, is he in the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary?
I'm looking now.
How much are you?
So like sir, it says here that he was the Lord of Bezek, a Canaanitish king, who having subdued 70 of the chiefs that were around him, made an attack against the army of Judah and Simeon, but was defeated and brought as a captive to Jerusalem, where his thumbs and his toes were cut off.
There you go. You know what I'm saying? He was a Canaanite. And when it said fight against Jerusalem, because at the time, this Canaanite was in control of Jerusalem. So Judah and Simeon whooped his ass and cut off his toes and his thumbs. You know what I'm saying? And it's saying against Jerusalem because this Canaanite, ruler was in our land ruling it. So of course it would be that we're fighting against Jerusalem, but it's our land. You know what I'm saying? But you know, as you look at it, the opposing sides was Judah and Simeon against you know what I'm saying, Jerusalem, because this Canaanite king or this Canaanite ruler was ruling over our land in Jerusalem. You know what I'm saying?
Kind of what Khan said.
All right. Now, you say you had another question?
Well, Khan, yeah, kind of what Khan. The question was, do we know what prophet took over after Peter, or does it stop with Peter?
You know, it's always a prophet in charge, but
Right.
I don't know who that was
Kind of
that took over after Peter.
Kind of.
You know what I'm saying? Of course, we have to ask that one to Cap as well. If who took over after Peter was killed.
Kind of. And like, if no one else has any other questions, I got another one.
Okay. Anybody else got any questions before the brother keep going? Who is that?
No questions from Durham.
Okay.
Okay, so like my question was with the Apostle Paul. Okay, it's like a two-part question. Is why is it that, you know, like some fake Israelites or Christians are saying or would say that, you know, something along the lines of like we shouldn't be following Paul because Paul wasn't in the truth? I don't know if you've heard that before.
I heard it before.
Kind of. So,
but
yeah.
But you know, it was a lot of people that was it John or Paul where a lot of people couldn't understand his writings. It was Paul. Yeah. So that's why those fake Israelites say that Paul wasn't in the truth, because Paul had a lot of writings that, you know, that simpletons can't understand, and that's just simple as that. You know what I'm saying? I can't pull it. Do you does anybody in here know one of those controversial sayings that Paul said that people, you know, they just didn't quite understand? Go ahead. What was this about? Okay. Yeah. Paul, because Paul was the apostle to the Gentiles, right? Okay. So now, to make a long story short, Jeremiah, Paul was going to the people of these other nations. Go to James 1:1 real quick.
I'm there. I got it, sir. I'll let you.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, this is the book of James, chapter 1 and verse 1. James, a servant of God and of the Lord Yahushua, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad, greeting. Verse 2. My brethren, count it all joy when ye fall into diverse temptations. Verse 3. Knowing this, that the trying of your faith worketh patience. Verse 4. But let patience have her perfect work, that
now,
ye may.
Salakia, go back to James 1:1.
Come on. James, chapter 1 and verse 1. James, a servant of God and of the Lord Yahushua, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad.
Which are what?
Scattered abroad.
Which are who?
Scattered abroad.
That's real important when you look at what Paul was doing, because Paul was going to those people in those other nations that were scattered abroad. To the Israelites in Jerusalem that were raised in Jerusalem, they were opposed to John doing this, because basically if you wasn't raised in Jerusalem, you wasn't an Israelite. But that's what Christ was. That's what we here for. That's Isupk all the way up and down. That's Commanding General Yohana, the 7 heads. What we've all been taught is to gather this nation back together. That's what the Bible is speaking of, talking about the remnant out of every nation. It's us. It's we here in America. Even though we didn't grow up in Jerusalem, we still have a chance to come home to our heritage and get our identity back as well. You know what I'm saying? You got I no doubt it's still probably some Israelites, some 12 tribes in and around Jerusalem, and we scattered all over everywhere. So they're growing up in our land, but we didn't grow up in our land. You know what I'm saying? You got, you know what I'm saying? Just like them purple people, they say that it's Israelites in Africa. I'm pretty sure there is. You understand? But we all over everywhere. But since we didn't grow up in Jerusalem, we wouldn't be considered an Israelite. We would be considered a heathen. So now the chance for us to get back to the nation, it, you know, according to you know, those Sadducees and Pharisees, we wouldn't have a chance to come into the nation. We'll be cast out forever. But Paul was given a different order. Christ gave that order to go into, you know, not into the way of the Samaritans, but to the lost 12 tribes of Israel. You know what I'm saying? So that's why people say that Paul wasn't in the truth, is because he was, number one, he was going to teach Israelites scattered abroad, and he was teaching them saying some of the, you know, he was teaching them saying things that everybody couldn't understand, just like Christ. Christ was speaking in parables so that everyone would not be converted. And that was Paul doing what Christ taught him to do.
Salaki, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Salaki, sir. Could another reason why fake Israelites try to reject Paul is because, you know, partly because like he technically he's of all the people we read about, the apostles, he's like the only one that never met Christ while he was walking the earth. Like Paul didn't come, Saul didn't, but he was Saul at the time, but he didn't come into the picture until Stephen got stoned to death. So could that be another reason why? I mean, we know he had the vision of Christ on the road to Damascus, but when he was, you know, when Christ was living, doing what he was doing with the disciples, Paul wasn't around. So they try to say like, oh, well, you can't trust him because he wasn't there and all that.
That could be.
Come.
Them not considering them just considering the works that he did before he was converted. You know what I'm saying? He was a prosecutor of the saints. So that could be a reason as well. Go ahead, Boz.
Salakia, sir.
What, 1 second.
Go
ahead. Hey, Boz said Paul was speaking against women teaching, and a lot of these fake Israelites, they soft on their woman. They want women to teach. So they say Paul, you know, discard what Paul said. You know, Paul was speaking out of his mind. Hey, that all everything, you know what I'm saying? All these are good. Who else had something?
So like, if I may, sir. I was gonna say the top one for a brother that said that, you know, Paul went in the truth because he wasn't walking with Yahweh Shai while he was on the earth. Then you shouldn't even be listening to whatever the hell they're coming out of their mouth. You understand? Because none of us are around when Yahweh Shai walking the earth. So I mean, the fact that they even bring that up as an argument, they kind of cut themselves.
Right.
I guess you had on open toe sandals too. You know what I'm saying?
Come.
And so like I said, they gonna say they Peter reincarnated. They was there.
Right. they gonna say they David and the Holy Spirit. You know what I'm saying? That's, you understand, of course to simpletons, you know what I'm saying? They say that Paul wasn't in the truth, but who was John the Baptist? You know what I'm saying? After he still was baptizing with water, you understand, after Christ came, he was supposed to give up that baptism, his way of baptizing. He fell off, but people would definitely say, you know, those fake Israelites would say he still was in the truth. Why? Because they broke off. They break offs. You understand? So whatever whatever them fake Israelites do to fit their narrative, whatever happens to fit their narrative to justify the things that they do, that's who they deem inside the truth and not and outside the truth. You know what I'm saying? They do it all the time with all the purple people and them dreads and teaching Africans along with the candy canes with Tazadaki and being the Holy Spirit. And you know what I'm saying? It's all you see who the Lord is with, and that's what is orchestrated by the Most High, so everybody on the earth can see who the Lord is with and who the Lord is not with. And you see in these fake Israelite groups every day, just like a black man getting shot in America, these fake Israelite groups get exposed on that level. Every day something coming out about some fake Israelite group marrying an African, murdering somebody, having sex with a transvestite, dying of the COVID, and they the Holy Spirit. That one got me. That one, man, Salakia, but I was like, I think a lot, and I pondered to myself, like, this man is saying he is the Holy Spirit. Now, what is I know something got it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't just get away with that till Christ come back. Something gotta happen. Salakia. I'm laughing, but it's not. I'm gonna get checked for that. But you cannot. I knew this. Once I found out the story behind it and the history behind it, I said, man, that was a evil, wicked thing to do, and also a very courageous, out your mind thing to do. That's like saying I'm gonna fight the Most High. That's like the white man. That's the so-called oppressor on the earth right now. Had that same spirit of that they can defeat the Most High, or that they can do anything they will. And it's just gonna be okay because they almighty and all powerful. Man, look here. And he was in hell and got another dose of hell. Think about that. They took the organization down for laundering, for tax evasion and money laundering. He went to prison, was in prison, and then he dies of COVID. How righteous, but how just the Lord, look, the Lord, when the Lord comes and gets you for when your wages of sin equate to your death, you better watch out, man. Whoa, you better watch out, because that was a bad way to go. In hell, away from family, away from your wife and your kids and your grandchildren. And if people dying of COVID and they have, they can't have the touch of their family, but at least they got their family there going, in the mask and the gloves. At least, what I'm saying, I get a touch from my brother with the glove on. He in a 6x9 by himself. You know what I'm saying? And no doubt, as he's giving up the spirit, I know all that stuff about the Holy Spirit came across his mind, because that's the way how can it not? You know what I'm saying? He dying, and now he gotta go thinking, damn, I should have never said I was the Holy Spirit.
The comforter.
The comforter. You know what I'm saying? I know he did. I would have. I'd have been going like, man, Lord, if it's one last chance for me to be forgiven for calling myself the comforter, now I'm gonna throw in my blue chip. This is my blue chip. Ding, ding. That's my blue chip right there, Lord. Please. You know what I'm saying? as I wilt away in sadness. Salakia. But that's you know what I'm saying? That's why we in here. That's why, every day that you in here, brothers and sisters, if there's any sisters in the class, I think I've seen one. If you in the ISUPK, you better thank the Most High with all sincerity in your heart. Because if you pay attention to how insane these other groups are and these other organizations, how the stories that we hear are just out of this, like how in the world could you think to do that, to go against the Most High that way, and to be outside of here is to be going against the Most High. And man, I thank the Most High, no matter how many checkers I get, I thank the Most High that I'm in here. I'm on the right side. You know what I'm saying? I made my election sure that I'm not gonna be one of these, a statistic, one of these, the 1/3 as they call it. I ain't gonna be part of the ones that get punished or have to die for not acknowledging the truth, for hanging on to my own pride and my own ego. Man, that's why we push this truth every day. Come back into this truth. Drop your pride. Come back home. All these Israelite fake groups, drop that pride and come back home. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be rough at first. It's gonna be real rough at first. How like anytime you mess up, it's gonna be real rough. But probably after a while, you're gonna be right back in there, man. You know, how long do niggas stay mad with niggas? In here, how long can you stay mad with a nigga?
Till that bottle's poured.
Bars. Hey, look, I'll go from a leader of a fake group to young man in a minute if it means I can escape dying. You see what I'm saying? Some niggas rather die than wear all black again. Some niggas rather die to be a trooper again. Damn. Salaki. K out of war. Any more questions, brother?
Khan, sir.
I mean, Salaki, Yermak. I called you K out of war. Salaki. Yeah. If you could.
I mean, if I could, again, if anybody else ain't got none, you can stop me whenever. Salaki.
I know, right?
Salaki. I was wondering if I could get a breakdown of the parable of the weeds among the wheat that Christ spoke in the book of Matthew, chapter 13, and verse 24 through 30.
Let's go there and read it. That's a good breakdown. That tie into what we're talking about right now. The water.
Okay, Matthew chapter 13 and verse 24. Another parable put he forth unto them, saying, the kingdom of heaven is likened unto a man which sowed good seed in his field. Verse 25. But while men sleep, his enemy came and sowed tares among the wheat and went his way.
So Salakia, I'm gonna stop you right there. So this written in red, right?
Sir.
Of course, this is Christ speaking. Christ made many comparisons to the kingdom of heaven. One of them is those 10 women going to marry that one bridegroom. So he's comparing the kingdom of heaven to sowing now, a farmer sowing his crop. And growing up, having experience on a farm, I saw the pride of my uncle when after we turned the field over and got that first plant down and got the first water down. That was his. I mean, man, if he could have cried at that point after all that work, after thumping me on the head 30 times for doing the wrong thing, you know what I'm saying? And after that first water went down, that he stood and looked at that field, I know probably for 30 minutes, just sit there and looking and admiring the rows and how good a work he did. So and And if you can imagine working and toiling and working in the hot sun, you know what I'm saying? Not in the hot sun, but right at the break of day, getting up, getting the equipment ready, tractor breaking down, you know what I'm saying? Having to toil all that, do all that work. And when it's finally done and finished and you complete it, you can get a sense of how happy, you know what I'm saying? That's heaven right there. That's a little piece of peace, you know what I'm saying? Heaven. So that's what Christ is painting a picture, trying to relay it to the workers of the field and how they feel when they plant that crop. They plant some wheat and get everything done. How they feel after that work is complete. Now they can sit and admire those plants as they come up. You know what I'm saying? So keep going.
Verse 26. But when the blade was sprung up and brought forth fruit, then appeared the tares.
Salakia, go back to the second part of 25 when it said at night. What happened at night?
Salakia, in verse 25. But while men slept, his enemy came and sowed tares among the wheat.
His enemy, this farmer's enemy, man, because if you farming is low down and dirty, where you have several farmers that grow the same crop. After this crop gets done, they gather up the crop, they harvest the crop, and then they take it to the market. Well, these buyers in these market, whether it be bread companies or if it's for wheat, it's probably bread companies. It's probably people that grind this wheat into flour, all that. They come down in rows and they look at the crop. They pull the crop. They brittle it. They grind it up. They feel of it. Well, if you got a good crop, all those buyers are going to be at your station. Where if you don't have a good crop, moving around, and you may have 2 or 3 people on the same stretch of road that's growing the same crop. So not only are you bringing your crop to the market, your neighbors are bringing their crop to the market too, and they may be growing the same thing you growing. And so which makes you natural enemies, because your neighbors want to sell all the crop. That's the point of in this game, to sell all your produce, all your harvest. You want it all gone for the best price. Well, this farmer, his enemy came and sold tare. If you know what tare is wheat, but it's hollow. It don't have no. What the thing inside of that grain that makes it wheat, it's not there on a tare. On tare, it's just a hull. And when you break it up, you don't have that grain in there that makes it wheat, that makes it viable, that makes it be able to grind down into flour. It looks like it, but it's not wheat. You understand? So it's a fake Israelite group. You understand? It's the Isupk coming up in full force, and it's the Isupk before the 2000s. Then the enemy come in and he plant fake groups in there that's gonna not be the real deal. So keep going, Jeremiah.
Into verse 25, and went his way. Verse 26, but when the blade was sprung up and brought forth fruit, then appeared the tares also. Verse 27, so the servants of the householder came and said unto him, Sir, didst not thou sow good seed in thy field? From which then hath it tares?
He said the after the crop was grown up and it's time to harvest it, the workers come to him and say, Sir, then you said you got viable, sir, in the eyes, didn't you say all these soldiers was good soldiers? Didn't you say wasn't going, all these men was good dudes. They don't betray they brother. They don't leave. Well, look. Now after 2000, you have you got the House of David, you got the all these other groups breaking off from that. The farm workers coming back to the farmer saying, "Hey, we went to harvest this, but it's terror among here. It's fake ones among the real ones." Go ahead.
Oh, Salaki, if I may, sir, what you're bringing out is so heavy, and this remind me. I was having a conversation just yesterday with a rib, right? And she was like, "Well, what's the difference between y'all and the other Israelite groups?" I say the difference is, would you let your sister work on your car, or will you take it to a licensed mechanic? And then she understood the analogy, because she said, I wouldn't let my sister work on my car. Well, I was like, well, don't listen to these fake Israelite groups, because they're not the authentic ones.
That's right. That's right. Damn right. And now the farmer has been put with this dilemma that not only does he have the real wheat growing, but he got tares growing with it. You know what I'm saying? And that contaminates the whole crop. So keep going, Yerma.
God. Verse 28. He said unto them, an enemy had done this.
A what?
An enemy had done this.
So soon as things go wrong, soon as you knew it was an enemy that made the school split up this way. And I think about that all the time. I think about how we were, like this past weekend, how we in the mall warring with this Christian, and this Christian says this is what he said. After we did all the conversation or whatever, we went to the side and he was still talking to me. I guess he felt like I cut him up so bad he had to continue the conversation. I walked away, and you know what I'm saying? He had to continue to cut. Anyway, he comes and says, well, there's divisions in everything, just like there's divisions in the Israelite movement as well. And when he said that, the inside of my whole inside balled up into a fist. You understand? Because this wicked piece of garbage that's teaching our people, to go astray from the Most High, knows about the division that we have amongst our family. You know what I'm saying? Amongst people that's claiming to be Israelites. When the Lord, I told him, I said, Corinthians said that we should speak all the same thing, that there be no divisions. So the Most High don't want divisions. If you ought to know which organization is speaking the truth, number one, because we the first. Number two, we don't associate ourselves with any of those other organizations. And also too, we don't have the same doctrine. We don't have the same teaching. We don't speak the same thing. So here in the ISUPK, no matter where you go, you're gonna hear the same thing. And if he knows enough about that there's different groups in the Israelite community, then he knows, of course, which one is the truth and which ones are not. Just like he knows that he's not in the truth. He knows that Christian church is not in the truth. And that's why he tried to make it seem like, oh, he was a Christian church, but they did follow the laws in the Bible, because the Christian church know those laws ain't done away with. They know you're not supposed to be eating pork, crab, shrimp, and lobster. That's why they take the stance of we do follow the Bible, because they know they're supposed to. So now, with that being said, it just made me, I can't even find the words to explain it, but when you have these different groups, when you have the tear growing with the real, when you have the real thing and you have imitations, those people that need to find the truth, it's difficult. It's difficult for them to find the truth because it's so many. They all tend to find the fake groups first, and you know what I'm saying. And that's why, you know, General Haas and General Muhammad and all the way up to Commander General Yohana push us so hard to push this truth, push past the barriers that we have that's trying to hold us back from pushing this truth. You understand? The things in your life you have to be willing to sacrifice. Everything you have to be willing to sacrifice. You know what I'm saying? That if anybody know, you know, Officer Abraham and that burgundy CRV, that was a sacrifice. I sacrificed that. I put that CRV on the altar of the Lord. And drove it till the wheels fell off. You understand? All up and down the East Coast. You understand? And back and forth and back and forth. The girl took the car when they finally let me trade it in. And she started it up, and it was like, I said, "You want me to drive it back there?" But she said, "No, I got it." You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, look here. That's what we got to do, man. We gotta push and push and push, because right now we have a whole lot of tear that's growing amongst us. That's being allowed to get to the masses. It's being allowed to get to the brothers and sisters, the potential brothers and sisters that will come in here and do the school good and work and be great additions to the school. But you know what I'm saying, we have to be like that farmer that's gonna cultivate it and push it. Go ahead.
Again, what the other one bringing out is so heavy. I'm gonna lay it out quite flat. If you're looking at other fake Israelite groups, if you see them in purple and gold, if you see them with tassels on the bottom of their damn t-shirt, they ain't us. If you see them looking like a goddamn candy cane, red and white, they not us. We the authentic cats out there not playing no games. Salakia, sir.
That's it. I said the same thing. Yeah, clap it up. You surefire way to tell that they're a fake group is they got them tassels on the bottom of their t-shirts. You know what I'm saying? So keep going, Yermak.
Sir. Verse 29. But he said, Shalaga, verse 28, he said unto them, an enemy have done this. Mm-hmm. The servant said unto him, wilt thou then that we go and gather them up? Verse 29. But he said, nay, lest while ye gather up the tares, ye root up also the wheat with them.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 30. Let both grow together until the harvest. And in the time of the harvest, I will say to the reapers, gather ye together first the tares, and bind them in bundles to burn them, but gather the wheat into my barn.
There you go. There you go. You know what I'm saying? Like the farmer was wise. The farmer didn't want to hinder the growth of the wheat. He said the worker said, hey, look, you want us to go gather up the tare now? He said, no, let them grow together. Let them grow together. Let everything reach its full potential. So we don't want to go plucking out the tare, because you may pull some of the wheat out too. Because if and this was I found out about, you know, wheat and tare and cropping since I came into the truth, because I didn't know. My uncle didn't grow wheat. So I found this out coming into the truth about the wheat and the tare. You can't tell between wheat and tare when it's coming up. You have to let it be fully developed so you can feel of it. It feels different. It looks the same, but it feels different. You know what I'm saying? the tare feels hollow and light. The wheat feels heavy. You mash on the bulbs of it, and you can tell something's there. Go ahead. Right. The wheat heavy, it hang down. Yeah, that's it too. The water bars, that wheat, because that wheat has something in it. What is it? Is it the grain? Is it those grains? Yeah. So those grains in the wheat, that makes it hang down, but the tare is so light. And even when you mash it, it just almost damn near disintegrate in your hand, blow away in the wind. You know what I'm saying? So, and it makes good kindling. You know what I'm saying? You want to start a good fire? Get you some tare and crush that joint up. Ooh wee boy, I know it's that straw. It's like it's got kerosene on it. You know what I'm saying? So the farmer was smart. He let them both grow. And then he said the harvesters, the reapers, the ones that come, the Hispanics that you pay to come and harvest your field. Not the workers of your farm, not your handyman around your farm that know how to fix your tractor, know how to mind your grazing animals, your goats, and you know what I'm saying, the field hands. They call them field hands, where they know how to do a little bit of everything. No, don't get them, but get your reapers, the ones that you pay to come in and pick your crop in a day. You know what I'm saying? The ones that know how to do it fast. Pay them. They're gonna come and separate the wheat from the tare, and you're gonna bundle up the tare, and he gonna burn it, and then you're gonna gather up the wheat into the barn. Perfect. Go ahead.
Right. So I got like, it's a 2-part question on this, but the second question depends on the answer to the first. So the first question is, could the enemy be Satan, in the sense that could the tares be, brothers or sisters, gossiping about each other, causing discord amongst each other, doing things that of course goes against the school, and could that be the tares that is getting intertwined or planted with the wheat that we are trying to grow?
Damn right. Anything that goes against what the 7 heads passed down to Commanding General Yohana, and Commanding General Yohana passed down to the generals, and those generals passed it down to the captains, and the captains passed it down to us. Anything that goes against what you've learned here in the ISUPK, that is terror. But you have to be careful how you deal with your brothers. You understand that if Fayetteville, we learn how terror growing amongst us, how to deal with it, because we thought that it should be handled quickly, right?
Come.
Hey, we dealt with it, and we knew what it was, and we seen it, and we witnessed it. And brothers called me like, man, come on, Abraham, man, I can't take it no more. Brother, Salakia. But you know what I'm saying? You got to let things play out. That's right. You understand? And if I could, I say, Cap know the same thing. Everybody know. You just got to let it play out. Just got to hold on. You do what you know is right to do. Don't let that discourage you from the truth. And anything to say on that, Zion?
Come, sir. I would say that when the reaper comes, he knows his job.
Right.
we can see whatever that we think we seeing, but that reaper knows exactly what that is. You understand? And when he pull that harvest up, there's no mistaking where he pluck up out of the ground amongst the, you know what I'm saying, the brothers are actually locked in. So when them tares get plucked out, there it go.
There you go.
That reaper is coming, and for sure, and he knows exactly what he's looking at. It's just like no different than somebody who know how to paint a car. You like, for us, we look at a car and be like, oh, that look good. But somebody who knows painting body, he can see the small dents and rub his hands across and say, you know what? Oh, that got bundo on it right there.
Right.
They knock on it, Shabayologists. Oh, that ain't solid metal right there. It look good, but
Right.
that's some filler in that paint right there. You understand?
Uh-huh.
That's how this truth is, you know, and it's gonna grow. You know, the work still has to be done by the ones that's actually doing the lifting, and the ones that pretending to do the lifting. Nevertheless, the work has to get done, and we'll let the reaper sort it out, Baba Kusha.
Damn right. That's it. That's it. Cause we may think that it's you know a good idea to make a move on it when the Most High ain't ready to make a move on it. Go ahead, Bob.
So like I said, if I could, like what you were saying is so heavy when you brought out the fact that, you know, they make it hard on the brothers who trying to find the truth.
Right.
And they don't know where to go. I was one of them brothers. I didn't know where to go. So I started doing my research, looking at every camp. So I heard this breakdown in different camps, you know what I mean? So and this breakdown is Tawab and UPK all the way. But like it's springing up in my mind like, okay, before the splits though, was there a different breakdown for this? Like before you had fake Israelite groups.
Then before you have fake Israelite groups, the terror would be the ones at camp. Terror is any ones that's trying to deter you from the truth. You know, yeah, the Christian church, your mama, your daddy, Islam, everything else that may try to because look, this is what I heard when I first come into the truth. Why do people not think you insane? What you are saying is that God is a man that's coming back on a spaceship and sending Christ back on a UFO to destroy the earth. And it's a nigga. You sound like you need medication. It's not something that's just, you know, readily accepted because in this book, of course, it's in this book. And it's pulled out so easily when you come to school, when you come to the classes. But you're saying to people who only thing they know is tamarines and organ playing and drums and God is love and loving and Jesus gonna bring you through. Hallelujah. That's all they know. You telling them that spaceships are gonna come, UFO, flying saucers. You telling them that flying saucers are gonna come and wage war against America, all because Jesus is black and he wants to free the niggas. You sound, brother, you sound you sound like you need to be you know, committed to Cherry, you know, brothers back east. That's the crazy hospital. Go ahead.
I believe one of the breakdowns I heard from a group that shall remain nameless,
right,
is that the Taz were like, okay, like the slave master when he raped the slaves, women, and then he would have a seed, and it would be a male. He would look black, but he wasn't black. So you know what I mean. You got some people that look like they're Israelites, but they're really Edomites. So that couldn't be a scenario at all.
Nah, this is not like no. No. Wipe that bit of fake breakdown out your mind. That's not what this is talking about at all. Good night. Fake. Look, Edomites can't stand the oppressor is the devil. That's how all of them get weeded out of here. Is the truth. Is hearing over and over and over again that their race is the ones that's going to be destroyed off the earth. Their race is the ones that caused the Lord to be, you know, to be so angry. And they are getting the full wrath of the Most High when he returns. You know what I'm saying? They can't hear that. And so it ain't about letting the wheat and the tare grow together in that instance. This is talking about something that looks the same. It looks like it's a full imitation. And the only way to be able to tell that it's not authentic is what's on the inside. You get it? That wheat that's growing, you tell the wheat is authentic because what's on the inside makes it hang low, gives it weight. Okay, Con. And that tear is so light because he's hollow on the inside. He doesn't retain, he's not retaining this truth. So he's not learning anything. He's just there to cause discord. He's just there to hey, Shalom, Lord Christ. He's just there to stir up things to where he pulls or she pulls people outside of the truth. That's what that tear represents. That tear represents that person that you side by side with, that you think is rocking and rolling for the truth. But when it really comes down to it, they never show up for the Passover. Right. They never they allow themselves to be caught up in things that cause them to sin. Or they'll take you to you'll go out with them and they'll wind up they'll have somebody smoking weed in the car. You know what I'm saying? Like, brother, we just got out of class. You can't be smoking. You know what I'm saying? Like we go to class and you still smoking weed. What? You know what I'm saying? Like we trying to be in this truth. Or somebody that will you'll think that's part of the camp and be rolling with the camp. You know what I'm saying? He done been with us for a while, and then we go out to the club and he is trying to holler at every skanky hole he see. Hey, Shabayala, I got 2 of them over here. Hey, they ready, dog. They ready. That's the terror, man. That's the terror. That's the one that look like us, walk like us, but oh man, he gonna do something suspect. He gonna do something suspect that make you be like, nah, we can't take him, no, can't, we gotta let him. We gonna let him alone. We gonna kind of space ourselves. He gonna be with us, but after a while, it's one of those brothers that you see where, nah, he ain't gonna quite make it. You know what I'm saying? It's one of the ones that come through the school and be like, he come to camp. He come to the high holy day, and then he like, yeah, man, this is the truth. I've been looking for the truth, and I've been this and I've been that, and you tell that by looking at him like, yeah, he probably ain't gonna last long. You know, I give
him 3 months.
Yeah, give him 3 months, 90 days. There you go. That's the wheat and the tare for you, man. That's anybody that come in here, and then it's mainly for a warning. That's for the brothers in the truth. It's for the brothers in the truth because look how hard Cap worked to get us the right answers to the breakdowns, to prepare us for every war situation, every battle situation, every debate or whatever. Prepared us. How the generals prepare us. How we have these breakdown classes to prepare us, and it's so that we can recognize when, we can recognize the fake. And so we won't allow those imitations to pull us away from the truth. We don't allow those things that could pull us away to pull us away. And the fake may not be a person. It may not be a person in here, but it may be a friend that you grew up with that you think is going to come into the truth with you, but in turn they end up pulling you slightly out of it. They make you be lukewarm instead of the fire, the hot, the heat that you have. They make you be lukewarm because they close to you. They're your friends. So you trying to get them in here with you, and then attempting to get them in here with you, they pull you out there with them.
Salakia one.
Go ahead.
This is True Bro one. I got a precept. This is the book to 1 John chapter 2, verse 19. They went out from us, but they were not of us. For if they had been of us, they would not.
Go ahead. Salakia, brother.
They would no doubt have continued with us, but they went out that they might be made manifest that they were not all of us.
Right. That's self-explanatory right there. That's it, bro. That's a perfect precept for that. You know what I'm saying? And if they was with us, then you know what I'm saying, they would be with us. And a lot of people when you this truth is it draws blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians because it's our heritage, it's our history. So when we hear it, we automatically gravitate to it. But it's not for everybody. So people will gravitate to it and they want to come in here full force, but they don't want to lose their life. Pull up that precept that say any man you know which one I'm talking about? Yeah, Mark.
Concept.
Any man seek to gain his life shall lose it. I think it's in Matthew.
It's Matthew chapter 16 and verse 25. For whosoever will save his life shall lose it.
So now, what does it mean to save your life?
Meaning, you coming at when you see the truth, at that point, your life hangs in the balance because you're learning that everything that you've been taught was a lie, and now you're seeing the truth, and now you have a decision to make. Now you have a decision.
Let me help you out here, Mark. When you come into the truth, your life is a sacrifice. And you hanging in the balance, don't quite get it. I understand where you're coming from. Don't spare my feelings on that one because that's a real important one. You come into this truth, that nigga's dead. I said that for the first 2-3 years of coming into the truth. That somebody would call my name and I'd be like, who? That nigga's dead. Who that nigga? You know what I'm saying? Like it took me a long time to accept my slave name being called again because I wanted to make sure that nigga was dead. That nigga don't exist no more. You understand? And as long as I allow him to exist, then that's the more foot or the more leg I have in the world. You understand? That life is over. So that man that seek to save his life, you're gonna lose it because you're gonna be hanging on. You're gonna be hanging on to the weed. You're gonna be hanging on to the hoes. You're gonna be hanging on to the you know what I'm saying? You're gonna be hanging on to the Christian church. That Christian church, brother, look here. That Christian church got a hold on niggas that's beyond a flex seal. You understand? These niggas holding on to that Christian church so hard where they know this is the truth, and they and their wife won't allow them to come into the truth. They cherish that woman so much. She's just so much that I'd rather choose to be a Christian than come into the truth. The Lord don't have influence over the box. Come on, man. You can't allow the Most High's call to be ignored because of hips and thighs, man. You mean to tell me that's the one woman in the world that you got and you can't get no more? There's no more after her. Life is over. Right. This ain't Romeo and Juliet, man. You understand? Everything must be a sacrifice. That's how you gotta put it to especially brothers, Jeremiah. You can't hang in the balance. Hell no. Your life is done. Mike doesn't exist anymore. Who? William? That nigga's dead. He was crucified. I put him on the cross last week.
If I may, sir.
Go ahead.
Sluggy, you want to look at that like you disgusted with that old man. You understand that? You want to look at him like you just despise, like even your frame of thought, or how you even looked at or considered certain things in life. That's where your mind has to go. If it's smoking weed or selling dope. You say I was sick, man.
Right.
I was disgusted. You know what I'm saying? Everything that happened to me, I deserve every single bit of it. You understand?
Right.
And that's and then you turn around and say, you know what? Whatever I do have, I'm giving it over to the Lord. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
If it's that red CRV, nigga, let's drive this. Let's drive it.
Drive that joint in the ground. You understand? Whatever I gotta do to put my brick in to make sure the Lord knows that, okay, this brother right here, he's serious. All right. That's how Shabayala came into the truth. Shabayala came into the truth blazing, brother. We had to tell, hey, brother, hold back, brother. You wanna, but and I understand it, man. I understand it totally, because in order to survive in here, you gotta hate the nigga you used to be. If you have any love for the man or the woman you used to be, then you gotta crucify that love, because that's the one thing that's gonna get you to go, well, you know what? They too radical, man. Right. They look, you ain't gotta go that hard. You ain't gotta be that. All the rings and the necklace and the shades, and why your soul is dark when you like them. That's what they used to tell me. You wear shades all the time, brother. You can't see into your soul. Your soul is dark.
So like I said.
Uh-huh.
So with that being said, as for a brother or a sister, can they be in the truth if they aren't for everything we're for? Meaning, like you just said, maybe a brother claim he in the truth and he loved the truth and all of that, but he just ain't with the shades and the boots and the looking all dark. He just ain't with all that. So he don't really hang out with us like that. He more just distant. We see him at the Feast of Purim and then he's shalom. What would you say for a brother or a sister like that?
That nothing should, nor death nor life should keep you separated from the love of the Most High. You know what I'm saying? Like you get a brother that don't want to be around the brothers, then he's not in the truth. That's what Christ was pushing, man. Is brotherhood. Right. You gotta prefer your brothers. Cap tell me that all the time. I hear that in my ear all the time. When I'm out working or doing what I gotta do, and it's something that I need to do, but the truth comes before it, I hear it in my ear. You gotta prefer your brothers. So I drop that and I go do my work in the truth. And it just so happens, it seems like every time I choose the truth over the work I gotta get done, everything work out. It seems like, well, if I don't do this, then I'm gonna miss this and I'm gonna miss it, and then that all my world gonna crash. But then when I go do my work for the truth, seems like that thing wasn't that important anymore. So now that is you understand, Satan talking in that brother's ear that won't let him prefer his brothers. If he's saying, oh man, I can't get down with all that black and coming and just hanging around all the time. Nah, but when you was in the world, how much did you hang with niggas? Like, you hung with niggas all the time. Your woman was like, well, I didn't get no time with you because you always hanging with the boys. But now you coming to the truth, you don't want to hang around your brothers. Man, that's Satan in your ear, man. That's Satan talking to you, telling you that you shouldn't prefer these brothers, because let me tell you something. Birds of a feather flock together, and that's so true. You understand? You start to hang around niggas as hardcore like Zion, and you think you trying to tell me you ain't gonna be like Zion? Right. You telling me Shabbat y'all ain't gonna rub off on you? Shh. I have to look at myself in the mirror before I come around these brothers. Like, I start to throw punches in the air and shit. It's a lot here for my language. I start to run myself into the wall. I gotta be tough. You know what I'm saying? I gotta be tough coming around these brothers, and the more I be around them, the more they wear off on me. After a while, ain't none of y'all gonna be able to touch me.
It's a lot y'all want.
So like, is that Cap at the bottom? Is this Cap?
La the one.
Oh, okay, come.
Hey,
Okay.
Salaya, sir.
Yeah. How you thon? Go ahead, brother.
Go. Hey, you go to camp with Shabayala one time. You be calling Esau honkies.
Hey, look. Damn right. Hey, look, I'm trying to tell you, how you thumb, man. It's hard for you when you don't want to hang around this truth and these brothers. Then you know what I'm saying. We all feed off of one another, and what keeps you in here is the brothers that's in here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When you start to not want to be around the brothers that's in here, you know what I'm saying? It's got to be when you, if you miss something, you got to feel like you losing something when you miss something. Not to say you're going to be at everything, because I'm not at everything. I'm not saying that. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying that I prefer my brothers. I'm going to make sure that every opportunity I get to be like them, to hang around them, to talk to them, to be around them, I'm going to be around them, because that spirit is what promotes this brotherhood. It keeps us close. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. So anybody that, you know, any brothers that you come across this, you know, kind of lacking in that area, you gotta have to get them to the mindset that, hey, we prefer each other in here, and to stay in here and to get a good foundation of it being in here, we have to be around each other. We have to go to war with one another and create that bond between one another. Because you know, you go to camp with brothers and you see warring with brothers, and then you know we promoting this Passover together, and we doing all these things together with one another. It creates a bond that can't be broken. You know what I'm saying? So whenever we may have little disagreements amongst one another, we quick to squash it, because this brotherhood means so much, you know, so much to us that we can't live without getting it right with our brother, or being straight with our brother. That's the whole point of building a nation. And once Esau starts to see that we prefer one another, brother, that'll stop him killing us overnight, because he'll see, wait a minute, they don't kill each other now. Have you ever, you know what I'm saying? Esau talk, and he'll be like, man, have you noticed black people don't kill one another no more? You ever notice that we have to break up black people from gathering in groups now? You know what I'm saying? They'll see it, and they'll see a change in this nation, man. And you'll really see the oppressor come out. Then we'll really be able to see that this man is the oppressor, because he does not promote black love at all. Black and Hispanic love, he can't stand it, because he knows it's his downfall. So that's what we got to promote heavy, man. If all of us got to learn Spanish, then we all got to learn Spanish, man. We got to be like Jim Muhammad, because we got to get that. We got to get that, man. We got to get that black and brown love needs to go worldwide, man.
Salakia, sir. Salakia, sir. Officer Abadawan is backstage, yeah? Yeah, man, he's backstage. He wants to join the class.
I got it, sir. I got it.
Okay.
Well, he gotta share his screen. He's in.
Connor one cancer.
It's Salakia, Officer Abraham. If I could, because Cap always say a heavy point when it comes to that topic, and I've seen this a lot with brothers and with sisters who you'll start to see get very distant. They just, you know, you see them every once in a while, and then they start separating themselves, and it's always sad, because you know they may separate themselves because of some stupid problem, from some stupid, idiotic problem that they have within themselves, and instead of going to counsel and fixing the problem, they'll just, you know, they'll slide off to the side. And what happens is, what Cap say is that no matter where you at, you're getting seasoned by something, whether you're in the truth and you're getting seasoned by with the 7 heads laid down and what Commander Geniana kept and what the Lord gave us, or you sitting up in your room somewhere alone getting seasoned by Satan, and Satan is raising you up. or your mother is raising you up and your family is raising you up. But either way, you getting seasoned by somebody. And I feel like that's very important for all of us to know that nothing should keep us apart from each other. Nothing.
Damn right. Damn right. Man, that is heavy, brother. That is heavy right there. That's it. That's it, man. You know what I'm saying? So was that it on the did you finish on the wheat and the tear?
Yeah, Con with the Reapers, Con. So that was it.
Okay. Anything else?
It's likely, so I could, but I know you got your topic, so I'll hold off for next time.
No, brother. Hey, look, that's what it is. It's scripture breakdown class. We prepare a topic just in case there's no questions. But brother, you keep asking them, we'll keep answering them because they damn near they good questions, brother. And you never know the question that, like I say, you never know, man. The question you ask may be the same question that someone else has, but for whatever reason, they don't answer it. Or when they go back and look at the class, it'll get answered. So ask away, brother. I'm here.
So it was another parable that Christ had spoke in chapter 15 of Matthew, and it was the heart of a man, and it's in Matthew chapter 15, and it started verse 10.
Okay, let's go there.
This Matthew chapter 15 and verse 10. And he called the multitude and said unto them, hear and understand. Verse 11. Not that which goeth into the mouth defileth a man, but that which cometh out of the mouth, this defileth a man.
Okay, so now what you want to do is you want to know, first of all, this is not talking about eating pork. You know what I'm saying? Christians pull this out all the time to say that they can eat pork because it ain't what goes into your mouth that defileth you, is what comes out. So that's not what this is talking about. You know what I'm saying? This is a dispute that Christ was having with the Sadducees and Pharisees about washing his hands before he ate. You know what I'm saying? They were so I guess now they wanted to be bougie ghetto bougie, that you can't eat anything without washing your hands, and that's what this is talking about. So skip let me see, skip a couple of verses above, go to verse 7.
Khan said in verse 7, ye hypocrites, well did Isaiah prophesy of you, saying, this people draweth nigh unto me with their mouth, and honoreth me with their lips, but their heart is far from me.
I need to get Salakia. I need to get the verse where it's talking about where they come to him with the problem. You might have to start at verse 1. Yeah, you're gonna have to start with verse 1.
Matthew chapter 15 and verse 1. Then came to Yahushua scribes and Pharisees, which were of Jerusalem, saying, why do thy disciples transgress the traditions of the elders? For they wash not their hands when they eat bread.
You see what I'm saying? You see, this is not talking about eating anything unlawful, because bread is not unlawful. You understand? Those scribes and Pharisees were always trying to catch Christ up in breaking the law. They was trying to catch Christ up in breaking the law so they could put him to death. That was the whole point of them following him, them asking him these questions, because they wanted to prove that this was not the Son of God. You understand? Their seats, their positions with the Roman government was in jeopardy because of Christ. Christ was about to make them lose their job. And if you know niggas, if another nigga is about to make them lose their job, man, they go into treachery overload. Overload. They go into backstabbing, you know what I'm saying, they go into backstabbing overdrive. You understand? So now the scribes and Pharisees are in backstab overdrive right here. And they are trying to catch Christ up in everything he do. And they said, well, why are your disciples? Because he's teaching the disciples. They said, man, why your men ain't washing their hands? They said they transgress the tradition of the elders. Then now they say they come to Christ and say, hey, man, your men, they disrespecting Moses. They disrespecting the elders. You understand? And they not washing their hands before they eat bread. So go ahead.
Verse 3. But he answered and said unto them, why do ye also transgress the commandment of God by your tradition?
Hey, look, Christ said, why you sin against God with your traditions, with your celebrating holidays, with your eating pork? Like every Christian pastor, you know what I'm saying? The scribes, everybody know who a scribe would be today, right? A scribe would be a historian, some kind of historic figure. A Pharisee would be a man, mainly a priest, that goes and gets a seat in the Roman with the Roman government, like a Al Sharpton or Jesse Jackson. Right. They were once a priest or a pastor or whatever, then they go get a job with the government, basically, in politics. That's what the Pharisees were. So Pharisee comes from the root word Pharaoh, meaning they were a seer for the Pharaoh. You understand? All right. So now the Christ said you transgress the commandments of the Most High. Like, you know, forget the tradition of our elders. You sin against God. You sinning against the Most High with your tradition. Go ahead.
Verse 4. For God commanded, saying, honor thy mother. Salakia. Good night. For God commanded, saying, honor thy father and mother, and he that curses father or mother, let him die the death. Verse 5. But ye say, whosoever shall say to his father or his mother, it is a gift, by whatsoever thou mightest be profited by me. Verse 6.
Like, so he's saying Christ, the Pharisees are teaching, like, whatever. Okay, it's tradition to honor your father and your mother, meaning when they get old, you take care of them. You don't put them away in no home. You take care of them because they took care of you while you was a baby and you couldn't fend for yourself, right? All right. So now the Pharisees, they teaching, hey, whatever you do for your father and your mother, it's a gift. It's whatever you do. So if you put them in the home, hey, that's a gift. So if you don't take care of them like you should, whatever I do for you is better than nothing. That's what they saying. That's what they teaching. And Christ knew, and Christ called them out on it. Christ said, man, you should honor your father and your mother. You should be the ones taking care of them when they get old and feeble and can't take care of themselves. But you saying whatever good thing you do for them, that's a good thing. That's a gift. That's you know, your taking care of them is a gift, like you giving them something, like you don't owe them. You owe them your life. So that's what you give them when they get older. You give them, you make sure their life is preserved. You understand? Go ahead.
Verse 6. And honor not his father or his mother, he shall be free. Thus have ye made the commandment of God of none effect by your tradition.
That tradition was the freedom, man. If you didn't take care of your father and your mother, you let them die in the group home, then you shouldn't be put to death. You're gonna be free. Go ahead.
Verse 7. Ye hypocrites. Well did Isaiah prophesy of you, saying, this people draweth nigh unto me with their mouth, and honoreth me with their lips, but their heart is far from me. Verse 9.
Go ahead, Salakia.
So like verse 9. But in vain they do worship me, teaching for doctrines the commandments of men.
Mm-hmm. The Pharisees was teaching the commandments of men, the doctrine of men. You know what I'm saying? Colossians 2:8 talks about the, woe to them that take the philosophies of man. Go to Colossians 2:8 real quick.
Colossians chapter 2 and verse 8. Beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit, after the tradition of men, after the rudiment of the world, and not after Christ.
They you know what I'm saying? Beware lest you be spoiled through these doctrines and philosophies, through the tradition of men. But Christ saw through those Pharisees and knew that they was still honoring the tradition of men. So go back and pick it up from there, from verse 7.
Verse 7. Ye hypocrites, well did Isaiah prophesy of you, saying, this people draweth nigh unto me with their mouth, and honoreth me with their lips, but their heart is far from me.
And who is the prophet Isaiah?
Christ, sir.
No.
I mean John the Baptist, Salaga.
Is it John the Baptist? No. I think it's Isaiah, brother.
Salaga, sir. Was it not him reincarnated?
Slug, sir.
Isaiah.
Isaiah is Isaiah.
Come.
That's what he was talking about. Remember when Isaiah said that this is a rebellious people, write it in the tablet? That this is a rebellious people, a people full laden with sin. Hold on.
What's
Elijah? Go ahead. Who's that speaking?
So who was the brother? Who was the prophet that came before John the Baptist? That was John the Baptist reincarnated. Well, John the Baptist was him reincarnated.
Salaki.
Go ahead. Who?
This is also Cordon, sir. One of Elias.
Elias, not Isaiah.
That's when I got it wrong. That's it.
Yeah, there you go. All right, throw out a Cordon.
Yeah, my Lord.
All right. So now, let's go back. Let's keep going.
Verse 9. But in vain they do worship me, teaching for doctrines the commandments of men. Verse 10. And he called the multitude and said unto them, hear and understand. Verse 11. Not that which goeth into the mouth defileth a man, but that which cometh out of the mouth, this defileth a man.
Meaning, you understand? Christ saw a teaching point right here, called everybody together and said, look, it's not what goeth into the mouth that defileth a man. Meaning, if you don't wash your hands before you eat bread, that's not what's going to defile you. It might make you sick, depending on what you touch before you touch the bread, but it won't defile you. It's what's coming out your mouth that's defiling you. It's the Pharisees saying, if you don't honor your mother, you're going to go free. That's against the commandment of God. You know what I'm saying? It's the Pharisees, acknowledge the tradition of men and the philosophies of man and not of Christ. That's what's going against, you know what I'm saying? That's what's defiling you. So it's not, go ahead.
Could you use the bubonic plague as another example of how they turn something that really is just, it ain't about God, but they make it religious? As far as saying like bless you when you sneeze.
Yeah. All the Puritans and what I want to say, Catholics of old, they always thought that disease was because of something you ate. You know what I'm saying? Something that went into your body, and or because of God, you know, you was not pleasing to God, you had sinned against God or whatever. But really, it was because, you know, those Puritans were white and they didn't wash, they didn't bathe. They, you know, all their clothes was ridden with ticks and fleas, and we all know that ticks and fleas carry disease. It was those Catholics, the bubonic plague was because those oppressors didn't wash themselves properly. They didn't use soap. They just splashed water on themselves. You seen these old Roman movies where they go to the water and the water be in the dish, and they just splash around in the water, and then they dry their hands and they wash.
Then they drink it, sir.
Salakia. I didn't know they drank it. Yeah. You ever seen the movies where they show the little damsel, she get naked and she go into the river and she just dip herself in the water and come out?
God, oh God.
You know what I'm saying? Well, look, for a long time, Blacks, Hispanics been knowing how to wash, especially a woman. They know how to thoroughly wash and clean themselves and all the crevices of themselves. You know what I'm saying? That's what all that disease was coming from, because these women didn't know how to cleanse themselves after intercourse. So you got all that just lingering, and it was causing all kind of diseases. Then they made their garments to where they dragged the ground all the time, and they didn't raise their the bedding off the ground. So I mean, so many things that the oppressor did before Israelite influence. Oh man, it's ridiculous. When that's why the scripture says, what? Purge me with hyssop. You know what I'm saying? If you know, it was things that it was different herbs and things that Israelites used to mash together to make paste, and it would cleanse. Oh man, it was all that.
Go ahead. And this so biblical and so spiritual. Like I remember coming up in school, like all the honkies we used to be around, we used to say they smell like wet dogs.
Wet dogs, because that's what they did when they just rinsed themselves off and they never washed anything. You know what I'm saying? And now you see it on a commercial where they just take the bar of soap in the shower. No washcloth, and just rub it on their chest. Now they zestfully clean. You're not clean. You can't get clean without. I seen on the TV show where it was looking at, the TV show was a comedy about a black family and a white family, and the husband and wives of the two, they became friends, and they spent a lot of time together. And the white wife walks in to see the black wife washing clothes, and she's putting the towels and washcloths up. One of the washcloths fell on the floor, so she said, "Could you get that for me?" And the white wife picks up the washcloth and says, here's your hand towel. She was like, "That's not a hand towel, that's a washcloth." And she was like, "Oh, y'all." Oh, she's like, "Oh, it is true. Y'all do use washcloths." And the black lady said, "Y'all don't use washcloths?"
They don't though. They really don't.
They don't. I know they don't. I know they don't. But it was funny how they writ that into the script to make the dynamic that oppressors don't use washcloths. And then the sister was like, "Y'all don't use washcloths?" Like, it's weird. It's weird to have a person that don't put soap on a rag and wash yourself down with it. And that's how you explain all the disease. And you look at their history, you'll see all the disease they was written with.
Salagi, sir.
Go ahead.
Salagi, sir, if I could, I gotta be honest. When I was coming up, you know what I mean? I growing up black, of course, I'm using the washcloth my whole life. But I used to see the commercials with them with the bar soap and the Zestfully Clean. And I would be like, damn, like, you know, my showers ain't as glorious as that. I thought I was doing something wrong. Like, I'm like, damn, I just want to use the bar soap. If that's how it works, that seems easier.
One, do not let an oppressor make you feel guilty, brother. Your way of life is righteous. You understand?
Salaga, sir. You I know you remember them bar soaps that they put like the fishnet around it so you could grip it better. That was the one you used when you ain't have no washcloth so it didn't fall and everything in the shower.
Well, if you don't, I know soap on a rope. Me and Zion might know soap on a rope. You know, soap on a rope was invented for the brothers in jail so they wouldn't drop the soap.
Good night.
So they had, he said, good night. Yeah, brother. That's where soap and a rope come from. So you didn't pick up the soap and the rest be history. Yeah, they put the soap on the rope for that purpose, brother. Yeah, so we've been properly using soap for thousands of years. We made our own soap. My auntie made the soap.
Lie and fat.
Where the fat come from?
Goat.
She used to take the fat that come off of her boiling all kind of meat, like especially that hog salaki.
Come.
She strained it and put that lye in it, and it cake up, and she come, man, and get you in that tub. Don't you let her get you in that tub. She been unscrubbed the first 2 layers of skin off of you.
Hey, Salaki, sir, you know these kids run around with these knees being black nowadays. You know what I'm saying? Knees and elbows just black. You know, with that lye soap where everything be just a brown from head to toe. You understand?
Right. Cause you be extra exfoliated, brother. Let me tell you something.
Dry as hell, skin just dry.
Yeah, hell yeah. And it be burning. That lye burn, man. And when you be ready to get up out of there.
It's like it, sir. Just in not even a couple months ago, it was a big thing that was going around on media, on like television shows talking about, well, they were talking about how the Edomites were only bathing maybe once or twice a week because they said they weren't perspiring, so they didn't feel like they needed to get in the shower or something like that. You know what I mean? That was like a big thing, like it's going around, and people say, well, I only shower once a week, such and such. You know what I'm saying? They was talking about that on the news.
Man, let me tell you something. This oppressor is nasty. I don't know how anybody could sleep with him. How you sleeping with an oppressor and she ain't taking a bath but once or twice a week? Or he don't take a shower unless he sweat.
No sweat.
Look, moving right along. You know what I'm saying? Look, go back to these scripts. We're gonna finish this out and close this up. We could be on this all day about how nasty they is, and you know, with dealing with sports, you find out how nasty they are. Dealing. If you ever had if you went to one of these prestigious schools where you know where you had a lot of Caucasian students on campus, bunking with them, staying on campus and having a room with them. Oh my God. You be man privy to some stuff. Now you know we had a couple in there. I stayed on campus one semester, so we had a couple because they would get scholarships to come to an all-black college, and we just couldn't believe that they would walk up and down the hallway and take a shower with no shower shoe, no sandals, no flip-flops on or nothing. They just walking down the linoleum floor, just barefooted, coming all down in the common area, barefooted. And it was carpet down there in the student commons area, but it's done had all kind of stuff spilled all on everybody's shoes. And oh man, they just so nasty. How you take a shower on a college campus with no shower shoes on?
It's a lock, my man. Yeah. And I'm not proud of this, but I've been to prison before. You even got black prisoners in there they won't step foot in that shower without shower shoes on.
Right.
But them white men that come in there, they showering, whistling like that. We in there in misery, ready to go home, and they whistling, singing songs barefoot, like it's regular schmegular.
And Salakia, and they don't get sick like we get sick, because they wasn't given the law of cleanliness, so they don't get sick like we get sick. We eat too much pork, and by the time we 13, we got high blood pressure. You know what I'm saying? We don't properly cleanse ourselves, and we'll be sickly all our life growing up. Wonder why these kids run around here with snotty noses all the time? Is because they're not keeping clean like they should, and they eating pork, crab, shrimp, and lobster, and they causing these diseases to follow them. It's biblical the way we ought to live, and we not living that way. So it's biblical the punishments that we suffer.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Keep going, brother.
Verse 12. Then came his disciples and said unto him, knowest thou that the Pharisees were offended after they heard this saying? Verse 13. But he answered and said, every plant which my heavenly Father hath not planted shall be rooted up. Verse 14. Let them alone. They be blind leaders of the blind. And if the blind lead the blind, both shall fall into the ditch.
There you go. There you have it. You know what I'm saying? Christ said, "Leave him alone, man." Christ said, the disciples were saying, "Man, you offended them when you said that." And Christ basically said, "Look, all the plants that my Father haven't planted, meaning the knowledge that is not of my Father, that my Father, these commandments in these scriptures, that's the seed that my Father planted, and all that didn't get planted by him shall be rooted up." You understand? And he said, "Look, y'all leave them alone, because they blind leaders of the blind." And that's what these pastors and reverends are today. Blind leaders of the blind. They love to be asleep, and that's why Isaiah, and going back to Isaiah, like it referred to Isaiah earlier in the passage, going back to Isaiah 56 said, "What they dumb dogs, they love to sleep, loving to slumber." You know what I'm saying? We ain't got to pull it, but everybody know that Isaiah was prophesying on those Pharisees and Sadducees that Christ ran into in the New Testament. So it was already, Christ already knew about them, how they was going to be, doing, following the doctrine of, men, and not after the Most High, breaking the laws of the Most High. So he already knew it. He already knew how to deal with it. And I think we over the time. Yeah. Yeah, we over the time. So we're going to have to clip it up right here. Clap it up. The water for everybody joining us, man. The water for everybody tuning in. Jamaica, you know what I'm saying? The Lord's willing, we'll see y'all brothers at the Passover, you know what I'm saying? If Lord allow. And how do we usually close it up with the prayers, with Lord's Prayer?
So usually Captain pass it over to the Shamar in Fayetteville.
Okay. Well, with that, pass it over to Officer Bunker, y'all.
Comic-Con.
Okay.
No, so it might be Officer Cool.
Who has the Shamar in Fayetteville?
Fayetteville got it.
Okay.
Officer Kowal, sir.
Okay. Well, with that, pass the class over to Officer Kowal.
Men of Israel, we're going to run the one curse with the teacher. Men of Israel, Madium. Men of Israel, Madium Shabbat. Sar, turn for your sisters. Men of Israel, we're going to run the one curse with the sisters. Men of Israel, Madium Shabbat. Yaji Mata. All right.
Security announcements. We're the ISUPK. Started out 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. New rule for brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes to the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They're here to share themselves with the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which brother and sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. You can find this in Numbers 18 and 21, Malachi 3, 8 through 10. It means 10th in Hebrew. It's pronounced by Asherah. 10% of any increase the Most High gives you, give to the Treasury Department or teacher. Priest funds, a free will offer for priests. It's not mandatory. Whatsoever your amount you'd like to give. The upcoming next Holy Convocation is the Passover. We're right here, April 1st, Raleigh, North Carolina, 500 South Salisbury Street. Anybody needs transportation issues or any issues you have, get down to the Passover. Remember, it's a commandment. Contact your camp leader. Go to www.isupk.com, find the closest school in your city, and contact that number, man, and get on down to the Lord's Passover. Also check out right after this Commander Dream House new show, America on Fire. America on Fire. Like, share, subscribe. If you're not subscribed to that, like it, thumbs it up, share the class on Facebook. Also, to all the rest of the podcasts, Boot Up or Shut Up, Chain Breakers. What else we got? Let It Be Known. You know what I'm saying? Let Hebrew speak, all that. You know what I'm saying? Let's help push this truth out the earth. If anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, start wearing all black. That's boots, shirt, pants, headband, and scarf. And with that, class is dismissed.